Very warm good evening. This is Arunava Chaudhuri. You are live on my YouTube channel, Arunfoot. It is Thursday, the 29th of January, 2026. Another Indian football and more discussion here on my channel. A lot to talk about within Indian football. And also, of course, if you haven't, do rewatch some of the highlights from yesterday UEFA's Champions League. Phew, what kind of crazy matches there was. And at the start of the live, of course, the reminder, even if you're not watching it live, but watching it later on, like, share, and of course, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, help me grow the community and watch the short videos that I try and make and do. Did something earlier today on the I League, and it's to be turned into the Indian Football League. There seems to be a bit of a confusion. Some people sold it to me yesterday, like, yeah, it's done and dusted. But from my understanding, is it needs to still be cleared by the AIFF, and it's a proposal coming from the clubs. Very interesting. So we'll talk about that surely today as well. And yeah, let's talk about the things. Guten Abend, good evening, Zoravar. So India 17 beat Tajikistan 17, who even played U17 World Cup recently. Can we start to dream? And Dalal Mohan Gangte scored once again. Zoravar, it's a friendly. As much as I'm happy to see the result, I'm very happy to see us win. It is a friendly. I don't know under what circumstances Tajikistan came to play this game, in what status they are, and therefore, yeah, we're playing at home in Goa also. Never forget that. So therefore, I take this result. I'm very happy, but I'm not, emotionally getting carried away by a 4-2 of the under-17s. But again, I'm happy about it and good exposure. I think the biggest news, what I said also yesterday, was that to me the big news is, without any announcements from the AIFF, that Viviano Fernandez is still head coach of the Indian under-17s, and that is very good news. I saw FC Goa have signed Daniel Laldinpuya. Laldinpuya or Lalam? Okay. Lampuya. Yeah, they've saw Daniel. Again, the point here is that clubs are signing players for positions where they have certain weaknesses. FC Goa seems to have gone into the season with the strategy of not signing any foreigners. And therefore, yeah, you have to take on, again, what kind of Indian player material there is. Ishan Pandita had been signed early on. So that seems to be what is happening at the moment. Certain players have been released, but certain clubs will have to wait and see. Hi, Raj. Welcome back. Tirana have signed Bema Mayer and going to sign Dimas Delgado. I don't know if they're going to sign Dimas Delgado. Dimas Delgado, you're talking, I think, Carlos Delgado. Not clear at the moment, but they have signed Bema Mayer. Earlier, it was announced that they've also made other signings. Elsinho is staying with the club, so that's another piece of good news, I think, for Chennai, and will be interesting to see. I mean, they announced yesterday Alberto Nogueira is signing for them. So a lot of signings for Chennai FC out of the blue, out of nowhere. So, and if I'm right, a few days ago, yeah, let's wait and see. But to me, it seems to be, let's see what happens. Indian Football League name has come up after they watched Real Kashmir documentary on Sony Live App. I don't think so, It's come from there. I know that this name had been around a while back. And so therefore, for me, yeah, let's wait and see what happens with this whole Indian Football League. It's a proposal by the clubs. I found it very interesting yesterday that it was the most important thing talked about by the clubs. La Sing Ming spoke about it at length at that press conference. Well, the AIFF press releases didn't even mention it at all. And that to me is always a sign, is like, okay, you know what? You've mentioned it. I'm not even sure if the Indian Football League would be the name of the I League this season, right? And, so let's see. Hi, Ashish. Okay, so I'm doing fine. Ashish, hope you're doing good as well. Welcome back. Chennai FC making promising signings. Yeah, it looks like Raj. It seems like, again, as I said earlier, they seem to have changed strategy. Uh, um, they've changed their strategy. Original plans, from what I've had heard, was that Chennai would not be making any foreign signings. They were even trying to get rid of their foreigners. They've now kept Ilzinho. Noguera has signed. Bemamere has signed. They're looking for a foreign striker. Um, so yeah, very interesting to see how they can sort of fit in whatever they can sign now. Even if gameplay not known, good to see India 17 scoring 4 goals against Utsahan like Tajiks. Hope this form continues. Chanata, um, yes and no, because on one side it is good, on the other side, all these friendlies have no value if you're not going to play well in that final tournament. We still don't know in what kind of a group we're going to come in. So therefore, I take this result, but I don't read too much into these results because friendlies are friendlies, and the proper tournament is going to be the question where we need to form. So how the players, I League Club, were tapping these players who have joined ISL for visibility. Which players were going to the I League or going to the ISL? So the players that I am seeing, um, yeah, there are blasters you could say about it. There are certain players, especially the Spanish contingent at Gokulam Kerala, which was released, which has been signed by I League clubs. But Gokulam Kerala has always been a higher paying club in the I League. So that's not typical I League club signings. But again, some clubs are trying to get foreigners. So therefore, we'll have to wait and see how these players do. The quality is going to drop, but it's very, very clear. But also looking at the I League clubs will be then also not signing the players that they normally would sign. They would sign also try to sign cheaper players, right? So therefore, the quality across the leagues is going to go down. Press conference improved. Very true, Raj. They got 11 lakhs from big edtech giant physics wala fans trolling Satya. Acha, that is what someone told me yesterday. Okay. Um, Let me look at what it is. Uh, okay, let me see. Someone said something about this. One second. Let me just read this once. Okay. Okay. Supposedly, he got 11 lakhs from the government, and that money would go to the AIFF. Okay. 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 I didn't know about this story. Yeah, I can't know everything, right? Biggest question is, are all clubs properly ready with their squads and are the players fit enough to play? The big question. No, Shanlata, they're not. Yeah, simple answer is no. So therefore, for me, um, you know, the clubs will get ready, and this is um, what are we going to get? Because to me, as I've said in the last few weeks, um, um, your first 3, 4 matches will decide on where your journey will go. To me, that is a very important thing. That if you're going to do well, if you get a certain number of points on the board, you are sort of out of trouble. And if you lose 3 or 4 matches at the start, you could be in serious trouble, right? Because at the moment, relegation is still part of what the AIFF has said and done. So we have to wait for that. But otherwise, yeah, very interesting to see what happens in the coming days and weeks. But at the moment, the readiness of the squads, the grounds, everything is a question. Tajikistan was deleted 2-4 by India. Kind of unbelievable, or were they not playing seriously? Rhythm, again, these closed door matches, we just see the result. I see, you see the goal scorers, and then we're supposed to make up our mind, which makes it, in my opinion, very, very difficult, to be very honest, because I can only see what the goals, about the goals. So India went ahead, Dalmo and Gante, after 8 minutes. Mac Rubon Odil Zoda with the 18-minute equalizer. 1-1 at the break. Danny Singh Wangkhem with the 2-1 after 48 minutes. Sadruddin Satarov, 66 minutes, 2-2. And then 75th minute, an own goal by the Tajiks. And then Washington Singh Nangom with the 91st minute, 4-2. Again, I don't know any facts about this match. I think nobody knows. We just look at the result, take the result for the moment, but don't, let's see. Back-to-back knockout for Barcelona. Barca, vamos, very happy as Barca fan. Hope we reach finals. UCL this time. Let's see. Shanat, I think yesterday was, yesterday was a um, crazy, crazy um, Champions League evening, I would say. If you look at the game, the result, the outcome, sensational to say the least. So um, yeah. So congratulations to all the teams. But again, the best one is, I think, the Benfica story. And again, uh, um, yeah, the goalkeeper scoring a 98-minute winner. Just a crazy one. Mourinho involved, all of that stuff. Yeah, a lot of subplots in that. The Tajikistan and the C team, again, rhythm. I don't know who they send, what they send, how good they are, how bad they are. And Iran was a fluke for sure. Again, rhythm. Iran, your problem is that you're thinking that the Iranian under 17 or Iran is Iran. And the Iranians, if you listen to the Iranians, look at the situation in Iran and everything. Iran at the moment is actually on a downward spiral. And again, look at the games we played against Lebanon. Look at the game we were against Palestine. Lebanon, we lost 0-3. Palestine, we were lucky not to lose. Those are realities, in my opinion. And now we have to build, and let's see what can be done. Z Sports and Fancore have shown interest for broadcasting, but the issue is they don't submit their offer. Who says they've shown interest? So this is the old problem, no? You will say Z Sports, you will say Sony, you will say Fancore, you will say Two Circle came to the meeting. That's why they showed interest. No, they just picked up something and they were looking at it. You know, and so we'll have to wait and see. Again, if no one is submitting anything, then showing interest is nice, but has no value, right? I could create a media production company tomorrow and say, listen, you know what, I'm and whatever things, and I qualify, you know. Um, so therefore, yeah, that's the reality of things. Old product is being sold in new name. Raj, that is what my feeling was yesterday regarding the press conference. And I was someone like Lasing Ming, who I have a lot of respect for what Ming has done over the years with Shillong Lajong. But again, you know what? We copied the Premier League. Oh, that happened, this and that. I was like, Ming, you please don't talk too much because you don't seem to know how these leagues have come about. Yes, the Premier League is 1992, but the Bundesliga is 1963. La Liga was started in the 1930s. So it's not a 3-decade-old story. Your team has been part of the I League. When was it? I think 2009 or 2010, the first time Lajong played in the I League, right? So all these things that you want to talk about and tell us about could have happened. Could have happened in the last 15, 20 years. Didn't happen for different reasons. You know, and so therefore it is the way it is. I was shocked yesterday that in some instances they were trying to portray like, hey, you know what, the IFL, Dr. Ashok, they say, oh, you know what, we will challenge. It's like, what will you challenge? Weren't you begging a few weeks ago to try and get into the ISL? You and Trinity Deccan were trying to get off the I League. So these guys, and this is my problem with some of the clubs across the leagues, right? They care about nobody. They care only about themselves. They only care about themselves. If something is in their interest, they will do it. If it's not in their interest, they will not join it. This is Indian football's problem. They don't like to see the bigger picture. We're struggling because of that. What happens when club get promoted to ISL from IFL and that club's representatives on the board of IFL? Tuchel, they're out of the board of the IFA. Very simply. That happens around the world, right? If you're part of a league, uh, you know, um, let's say if I'm part of the, yeah, let's say I'm part of the English Football League, I'm part of the EFL, right? Being part of Championship, League One, League Two, and I get promoted to the Premier League. My EFL membership ceases. I automatically become a member of the Premier League. Do I sit on the board? Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. There are different means and ways, and the same thing happens with leagues around the world. If you're getting promoted in the German second Bundesliga, you become part of the DFL of the Deutsche Fußballliga, which manages Bundesliga 2. Same thing, La Liga 2 in Spain. So therefore, that's a simple part. So I was the one who said about physics while I yesterday's stream. Okay. So thanks again. Again, I didn't know that. You told me yesterday. I wasn't aware of this. Sure, you're not best still. We're not playing with women national teams before Asian Cup, but good that we're getting decent European clubs for more match sharpness. Let's see. Charlotte, yeah, better those than none. Spartak Moscow, Hertha BSC, Berlin, yeah, better than none. But again, let's see what we can do in Australia. I hope we're going to get 3, 4, maybe 5 friendlies against other national teams in Australia going, and that would be very, very important. Sizikswala donated the money to AIFF from which I bought their courses. Hannibal, very nice. Supposedly, it's a government grant that he's passing on to the AIFF, right? For the national teams. Let's talk about tomorrow's Champions League game between Benfica and Madrid. What do you think? Bengali from Germany, I think you're thinking about yesterday's. It's insane. That game yesterday was, why you, I, we all love football. To me, it was just insane to see that game and the story. You know, uh, um, um, to see that story. With Ruben scoring that header and them actually 2 minutes earlier not realizing that they needed another goal to move into the knockouts, that they were out for a few minutes. Um, yeah, insane. Yeah, and this is why the football is such a beautiful game, right? We have these moments, and if you look at the league table now and in the Champions League, so it's insane to think about who I, you, we most probably thought who would make it, who would not make it, and who did make it. I'm surprised. I'm surprised if I look at the top eight. Top eight is Arsenal, Bayern, Liverpool, Tottenham, Barca, Chelsea, Sporting, Lisbon, and Manchester City, right? And then who missed it? I mean, that's a who is who. Real Madrid, Inter Milan, Paris Saint-Germain, Newcastle United, Juventus, Atletico Madrid, Atalanta, Bayer Leverkusen, Borussia Dortmund, Olympiacos, and then come the surprises: Olympiacos, Club Brugge, Galatasaray, AS Monaco, Karabakh. Who would have thought Karabakh would make it? Bodo Glimt, 2 wins in the last week against Atletico Madrid and Manchester City. And of course, Benfica, due to a better goal difference, ahead of Marseille and Paphos from Cyprus. Paphos got 9 points and are eliminated, as well as our Union Saint-Gilloise, PSV, Athletic Bilbao, Napoli, FC Copenhagen on 8. Napoli, as Italian champions, finish 30th. A disgrace. Ajax, 32nd on 6 points. Another terrible campaign from Eintracht Frankfurt, who started brilliantly with the win against Galatasaray. Slavia Prague, 34th. And then Villarreal, 4th in La Liga. 4th, finishing 35th. And Kairat on debut, finishing last with 1 point. I mean, this is exceptional action in the UEFA Champions League. Physics wala owner Mr. Alak Pandey got money from government and donated money to volleyball, basketball, hockey, and to AF as well. That's how it went. Okay, so let's see. But physics wala ISL, Hannibal, I don't see that happening. It's 2026 here, played so good in Arab Cup, Curacao reaching World Cup. We are praying at least this season starts and end properly. Oh, the little oxygen of Indian football. Shanlata, we are in a different world, than these nations that you've mentioned. Oh God, not PWISL. Me too had brought their courses, was my donation to AFF. नाइस दादा. हम लोग जो इंडियन पासपोर्ट है जो बाहर खेल रहा है उनको क्यों माव नहीं देते हैं जिनको गेम टाइम मिलता है अच्छे क्लब जैसे कतार फर्स्ट डिवीजन न्यूजीलैंड फर्स्ट डिवीजन अंडोरा फर्स्ट डिवीजन. Who is getting game time with an Indian passport in Qatar and New Zealand? Andorra, I know. I've interviewed him myself. I'm just forgetting the name. Getting bad with this. But Qatar and New Zealand, I don't see anyone with an Indian passport playing there. Kailash. We got P physics wala ISL before GTA 6. Yeah, we got a lot before GTA 6, no? That's why I'm a big fan of Barca and Yamal. They always deliver best result, performance, biggest match. Bad that we lost against Inter last season. So that's my pride club of the fan of the club since 2017. Okay. Regarding logo, sir, yeah, we've got social media, but forgot to change ISL. X account profile photo, it still relies on it. Raj, I think they also got it uh, on Instagram, I think, if I'm not wrong. Let me just quickly check. And yesterday, they only showed a logo you know, um, with a logo with the uh, Indian Super League written over there. Today, they have launched. Yeah, on Instagram, it's the same thing. Yesterday, it was with just Indian Super League written on it, and then you got the date. Today, in the second logo with the India map and the locations of the clubs, it is saying All India Football Federation. So again, give them time, right? It's an evolving case, and yeah, so therefore, not all in at once. And the other thing is, if you haven't actually gave an interview a couple of days back to Sagal of Chak De Football. I think the interview comes online tomorrow. He's put out a couple of clips of my statements, so yeah, do watch out to that interview tomorrow. Honestly, how will AFF do this? 29th of Jan, ISIS start 14th and still no broadcast and known deadline itself ends 1st Feb. Don't know how they will wrap up, make deal before 14th. The AFF is the AFF. Shanlata, the reality is the deadlines are not the problem. My problem is with the venues also, right? The broadcaster can come in. Who's going to produce? We could get a broadcaster on the first or the second. They're not on the first. The deadline ends. On the second, they will announce, right? And it's XYZ. Whoever's the broadcaster. We have a broadcaster, but who's going to produce the broadcast? Is my question to you and to everybody, right? My simple question is: having a broadcaster is nice. Um, so let's wait and see um, how this pans out. Right, 23 plus minutes. Quick reminder: like, share, and subscribe, please, everybody. Whenever you're part of this video, again, only 8 likes so far. Share with other people to join in and be part of our conversation as well. And of course, if you haven't, please subscribe to the channel. At the moment, it seems to be an up and down. It seems to be certain people are coming new to the family. Some people are canceling their subscriptions. We stand at 3,724 at this moment. And watch my short videos. Yeah, as I've been saying in the last few days, the numbers have not been so good. So please do support it. And did something today on the I League, yesterday on Intercountry, before that on the I League's ISL schedule, Blasters, City, women's football, Indian coaches and opportunities. Watch those videos and support the channel. Thank you as always. Really very bad. Don't we have people or money to make clubs, home football stadium really, really even? It's not clean, so bad state. The stadium looks same as national team. Shamlata, it is not so easy because the stadium doesn't belong to me. To me, and it doesn't belong to you. It belongs to the government in some sort of form, be it a state government, a municipality, whoever, and they have rented it out to other people to use. So the disrespect we have in India, right? I think we should make football a religion in India or sports a religion in India and say, treat the ground on which or a stadium in which you have a sporting event like a temple, like a masjid, like a church. Treat it like your mother, like your sister, what you're like your family. Um, Maybe that will change. But otherwise, look at the state of this, how people leave behind the stadiums, and We talk about civic sense of the people. Yeah, you see it, no? Concert venues, what is the state? Let's see. When yesterday press conference, the league teams told that they start looking for commercial partner sponsors, I thought pretty late considering the timing. Roshan, they have to say it. What are they going to say? Oh, you know what? We're not ready. You know, and you know, um, yeah. I mean that people actually have, Dr. Ashok was hinting at, oh, now we will challenge with the Indian Football League, we will challenge the Indian Super League. It made me laugh, right? Because they're saying 11 teams. So the interesting part is with 11 teams. Then they said 10 teams. Remember, oh, one team. That one team is Churchill Brothers. But it seems to me also there is a statement, press statement from Aizawl FC today that I'm not even sure if Aizawl FC and Chanmari will play, because they are saying, why should I spend money, 25 lakhs on being part of the league, right? And one second, where did it go here? The statement of Aizawl FC says, Robert Romavia Roite, owner, president of Aizawl FC, convened a meeting with the club's technical team at the president's chamber to review key issues related to the proposed Indian football calendar. Addressing the team, Roite remarked, in Indian football, uncertainty seems to be the only certainty. It is surprising that that the I League start date was announced before a proper decision was taken by the legitimate authority, the AIFF. As the senior-most I-League club operating without regulation, Aizawl FC has produced numerous national team players along with many professionals competing in both the ISL and I-League. Emphasizing the club's long-term vision, Rohit introduced a comprehensive web initiative titled Project 1000, aimed at providing systematic football training to 1,000 boys and girls alongside education in spoken Hindi, English, IT skills, and AI studies. Meanwhile, construction is underway at the Aizawl FC complex in Lung Leng on the outskirts of Aizawl City. Project includes a state-of-the-art AstroTurf football ground, world-class hostels, accommodation for coaching staff, and other modern training facilities. So it's great to see what he has announced. But to me, it sounds like it's like, hey, are we actually playing I League? So there are a lot of questions in regard to the I League which is not sorted. To be honest, all the nonsense has happened for last 3 years, changed my mind completely for Indian football. And right now, when I see India beating some heavyweight, I feel it's a fluke. Yeah. Pritham, sadly, welcome to the club. Sir, is this a team we beat? I don't know. I think 5-8 friend enough to beat Vietnam? No. No, it's not. Where are those guys who said Mohun Bagan is Real Madrid of India? Yeah, Raj. The most insane thing is Barca is being below ninth last group stage match just in one day, fifth. That's the final UCL match, 10 points table, unpredictable, intense games. Yeah, Shalnata. Again, you're talking about Barca, I think, yeah. Again, people are talking more about the Real Madrid Benfica impact, but also Bodo Glimt or, Karabakh and all those teams. Yeah, interesting. Sir, according to which player will play most important role to beat Vietnam, China, we did it? Manisha Sangeeta. X9P, I'm not even thinking about winning at the moment. And in fact, it could be Manisha, it could be Sangeeta, it could be other players as well. The whole team has to play well. Our defensive unit, our goalkeeper might be the most important. You guys get carried away too easily. I'm too old for all of that. I mean, indeed, Mohun Bagan Supergiant is the Real Madrid of India. They won their cups the way Real Madrid has won their UCLs. Did they? I would have said no, but anyway. CR7 Ronaldo birthday on Tuesday. Just coming week. Okay. Bodo Glimt won their matches with the last competitive match on December 10th. Roshan, and that's the interesting part, right? That Bodo Glimt actually has been only training for the last 1.5 months. Played 2 matches, um, and on the other side, beating these teams. That speaks of quality. New UEFA format has made the group stage much more exciting. Exactly, Tushar, and it's very interesting that a lot of people who said, that this is going to be this is not going to be good for football, and it's harming the format and this and that and everything. And suddenly everyone's saying like, oh, you know what? This is actually this is really good. And again, this is, yeah, it's been a positive impact. And Let's see. Bibiano has not renewed his contract yet. How is he coaching the team? Show him. If he hasn't renewed his contract, he wouldn't be sitting there. So I guess most probably he's renewed his contract. It's only just not been announced by the AIFF. Mourinho still got it, yeah, in some sort of way. Before the knockout starts, what's your prediction for Champions League? How will the German teams do? Bengali from Germany. The problem with this is that most probably, not most probably, Bayern will except if Leverkusen and Dortmund meet each other in the next stage. Bayern will either play Dortmund or Leverkusen. So it looks like, or sorry, they could actually both lose, right? But most likely they could play one of them. I think Bayern is with Arsenal. They're the two big favorites for the season, and interesting to see who could go how far. If one of them, yeah, let's wait and see. I rate Leverkusen higher than Dortmund because Dortmund for me is too inconsistent. If I look at Dortmund the last few weeks in the Champions League, they threw away a top eight, easy top eight finish. I thought he was washed after his Turkish campaign got influenced by social media. Aditya, one day doesn't change it, right? Even in Portugal, people are saying that he's washed, and they're still saying it, you're right, that his best days are over. But again, in these one-offs, Mourinho is Mourinho, right? Yeah, first division, Adrian Rowan, Savio Consa, Kauri team. Karash, are they Indian Indians? Would be my question to you, right? Um, because that would be my question to you. If you're throwing out those names who've, I don't think any one of these guys will have an Indian passport, right? I was trying to figure out um, where is he playing. One second. Okay, trying to figure out. Hey Akash, watch Benfica versus just to watch. So he's still cooking, and what's this PV? Physics Wala supposedly has donated money to the AIFF, and yeah, 11 lakhs supposedly. So yeah, good. The quality has gone horribly wrong after I took over the social media. No, Aditya, I thought so far the two posts were okay, huh? It could have been worse. Delgado, Captain of Cabinet Drive, and I read that he rejected Chennai offer. Did he reject the offer? Because he's still being rumored to be talking to them, right? Sir, as you were involved in making draft, do you know about title sponsorship deal as Hero was? Yeah, I mean, I wasn't involved in that, but I know how it works, yes. So today a shot comes up with Chuck the football, and you said right thing, country like Ghana, etc., still able to produce world class football. Yeah, that's what I try and say. Jose Mourinho is always the special one. You know what he doing. Yes, Akash. I've read that today meeting was held between Odisha FC and Odisha government. The transfer deadline is ending soon. Aditya, 2 days. And my question is that, yeah, um, you know, my opinion at the moment is will be interesting to see. Yeah, and where does it take us? And yeah. What is the use of renaming I League to IFL from NFL to I League? Was there a huge change? Ochut, from NFL to I League, there was the one change. NFL officially on paper was semi-pro, and I League was professional. From I League to IFL, it makes no sense. If you see, uh, uh, um, you know, um, your problem is the I League clubs want it, or some I League clubs want it. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Make to headline Boris Muja opinion. Make to Maidan headline Boris Boria Mojumdar opinion. Okay. Who's favorite to win ISL? I have no clue, Avi. I think let's watch, Reliance Star looked good anyways. Yeah, that looked more professional. I don't think he knew what he was doing in Turkey. Who says who? He said a lot of things in Turkey which were right. Qatar first division, Azhar Wazapilli, and Hong Kong second division, Pradeep Singh and Navaldeep Singh. Yeah, but what is the quality, Kailash? Just to throw out names and who I don't know. Yeah, let's see. Ikram P says to Avi, favorite to win ISL, East Bengal, FC Goa, yeah, Mohun Bagan, and Bangalore FC. Let's see. It's a big question. Why don't more viewers come on the channel? Why doesn't increase or more people join conversation? Why every day only 20? How can we grow this channel? Shanlata, I'm going out. Again, I did my thing with Chok Baba, and the next time in India, I'm surely going to do something again with him. I gave my interview to Chuck there, which will come out tomorrow, which is quite a long one. Again, more than 1.5 hours. Uh, so yeah, so therefore for me, um, I'll I'll keep on talking to people and let's see. In India, rivers are worshipped too, Arunda, but they are also most polluted. How do you think these people will treat the ground as right? This is a very good point. Yeah, they on one side the river is holy, and on the other side, yeah, you treat your rivers like Let's see. I need to compare with ISL. Sounds like a comparison between hydrogen bomb and coughing baby. Yeah, absolute cinema last night. Yeah, Panchal, that's what Champions League is about. It's about goals. It's about results. And if I see the results from the UCL last night, um, insane. I read out the table, and if you look at it, how the matches went, PSG Newcastle again, one team scoring a winner, and that team actually goes into the top eight. Napoli losing to Chelsea despite leading 2-1. Um, yeah, which was the other one. Borussia Dortmund conceding two late goals against Inter. Benfica, of course, the highlight of all. And of course, Bodo Glimt going to Atletico Madrid and winning. I mean, that is, or Sporting Lisbon also winning 3-2 at Athletic Bilbao. All these, there are multiple games which were just exceptional. You will never see any cricket stadium outfield in that terrible state, as we see in many other stadiums in jail and Chennai. If they can protect cricket pitches, why not for football as well? Raj, because you have cricket stadiums have curators, right? They have really high end, like golf courses. They have really good grass pitch experts. Uh, uh, you know, and and in India they spend a lot of money on it. But I have also seen at smaller cricket stadiums that they misuse it for the same thing, right? And let's wait and see what happens. Sir, call it begun bhaja. Yeah, begun bhaja. Yeah, mohun begun and East begun. As far as I follow third room division, don't matter base, say will be stronger poll for anything. Roshan, I think so. And would be interesting to actually ask my good friend Tris Ponaka to Daniel, who's involved in the third division German women's team. Hertha is quite an aspiring women's team. Last season only beaten by Union Berlin for promotion, so should be a quality test. And I guess also Spartak Moscow will be a tough one. So all the 3 matches or 4 matches will be tough. Bagan is the Real Madrid, a bunch of overhyped superstars without any system or plan. I'm so excited to watch Ryan Williams in India jersey. Yes, Saif. I think anyone who cares about the Indian football national team will look forward to March when hopefully Ryan will make his India debut and we will see him in an India shirt against Hong Kong, or if there is a friendly before that, in that friendly. Yeah, hoping for the best. Um, yeah, because some good news. All I want is that salary cap is strictly followed, or else we are doomed to fail one super giant and he's going to destroy the league. Aditya, there is no salary cap. Where does the salary cap come from? There's no salary cap in the new format, at the moment at least. Is Manisha getting game time there? I don't even know. Does the league start or not? Good question. I Let me check. Alianza Lima women. Let me see their fixtures. Mm-mm-mm-mm. There's only the results. There's no fixtures at the moment put out there. Uh, 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 uh. Okay. When did the league start last year? Let me check 1 second. Let me try and figure this out. Their league starts last year. Their league started in late March. Okay, if that's the case, okay, the league in Peru is also divided in Apertura and Clausura. So divided two legs. Yeah. So if again, I have to would have to figure out, find out, but if I read it right, then they would only play their season. Um, yeah, they would play their season a little later in the year. So theoretically, it might be that Manisha Kalyan might not play any matches before playing for India in the AFC Women's Asian Cup. What is this? Aizawl SC complex. Where's the article? Kumar, Aizawl has been planning this, or Mr. Rohit has been planning this, I think, for 4 or 5 years. It's outside, and it's not an article. It's on their social medias which they've posted, and I think questioning the whole I League thing. The biggest wonder and best match: Arsenal versus Kairat. Kazakhstan giving so good fight. Scored two. Was top Premier League club. Uh, but there was the reserve team of Arsenal. Oh, I don't know. Now fans will say make Jasmine national team coach. Raj, I think in Portugal, Mourinho wants to be Portugal coach because, yeah, let's wait and see what happens. Yes, मेरे पास भी बहुत player list है जो Indian passport है. Kailash, if I see Aiden Rodriguez and if I see the team that he's supposedly playing in, which has limited to no data, then he again these are the kind this doesn't look like a pro setup that he is, right? And this seems to be and they play in a smaller league in Wellington. They're not even playing the top Oceania or Australian E League. So just if you want to put a list together of players playing around the world, you will most probably get, I don't know, 5,000, maybe 10,000 players of Indian origin playing football. So therefore, so yeah. What about Apni Bharti? He plays for Bolivian top flight club under the Balompic Boliviano, a loan from Czech club FK Vansdorf. This guy doesn't get a chance playing for India. Yeah, Bangali from Germany. How many matches has he played in the last 7, 8 years? But that would be my question. You know, um, Abni Bharti, how many has he played? 26, 27 matches? Just to be there. Yeah. What are your thoughts about the fines on Morocco and Senegal after the AFCON final? Should Morocco be banned and not just a fine after the towel saga? Bangali from Germany, if you ask me, the whole thing is a sham. And if I'm expecting CAF to take a tough decision on this, knowing how CAF operates or has operated for the last, I don't know, since its foundation, uh, uh, mm, and yeah, to me, it makes no sense of doing it. As you say, I would have given them a, I don't know, 2, 3 match, without fans ban or something of the sort. Uh, um, but yeah, Marcus reported the guard has rejected offer. Yeah, again, Aditya, I've heard something else. Ochud answering Aditya, I support you. Salary cap is very much required, but why do you blame Eastbourne or Matsubun? What stops the other clubs to find or hold on to investors? Ochud, the question is not hold on to investors. My question to the clubs would be, in the last few years where there was no relegation to think about, is why did you go into all of this? You know, and therefore for me, again, salary cap is needed, but how are you going to implement it? I know enough ways. If I'm running a club and if I want to sign a player, I would know if I needed to how to work around it. So that's the problem. Sir, Kashi new signing, then Carvasa, then who go ISL clubs, young players, good agent network or change the tactics, but clubs. There's no let me tell you this, Ogni. You guys, some of you were talking, oh, scouting network here, scouting network there. Some people have said, listen, I will never, as an Indian football club, as a standalone Indian football team with the budgets that I have, I would never create a scouting network abroad. Never. I would always bank on agents and tell me, guys, bring me profiles. And then within internally my team, we will have a look at them. Right. So all these guys who are selling, oh, you know what, we need to go here, there, build a scouting network, pay people, blah, 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 blah. Why would I do that? Right? What is Interkashi has a setup through their Spanish networks, and that's what they've been doing. They've been they have a Senor Habas in there. They've got other people in there. They've got Inter Escaldes, which belongs to their network. So they through that they can do a little bit here and there. That's how they're getting their players. Um, they know agents as well. Kerala Blasters seems to be going a different path, but again, looking at the profiles, interesting profiles, but again, also cheaper players than they had because and Noah Sadui and Adrian Luna know the, again older but know the situation in Indian football are experienced players and again they can make the difference. So therefore, is it a change of tactics? No, they're saving money. They are replacing costly foreigners, sending them on loan away and replacing them with cheaper foreigners. And some of the clubs have actually not even replaced their foreigners. So it's very, very interesting to see what the strategy is. It is a question of outside of East Bengal and Mohun Bagan, it seems to be all other teams have tried to reduce their wage bill, right? Chennai seem to have changed tactics, but again, they have saved quite a lot. And see, bitter reality of Indian football is even with all the dark phases, East Bengal and Mohun also have stood there for 100 plus years. Uchud, again, but has it brought us anything? That would be my counter. You know, the bitter reality of Indian football is what have these clubs given to India that really has taken us forward? Their survival, has it brought us anything? Again, a lot of Kolkata fans will hate me for asking that question. What are these clubs giving us? What has any of these clubs has given us? They will tell you, the people will tell you, oh, we do this, that, everything. No, you've given us nothing. Right? Who's got the most money right now and gonna steal quality players by breaching the salary cap? Mumbai City have lost City football. So yeah, it's right now. These two only. Aditya, don't talk about breaching the salary cap. All teams were breaching the salary cap. That is the other problem, right? That this, oh, no, no, no. Everyone did it. So the clubs, international team, all European clubs, which are foreigners, I guess. So you think it's better for them to train and play European teams? I don't see any Indians going abroad and playing in Europe. We don't have the quality. Finally, senior national is getting some good match practice in Turkey. Yeah, let's see. If that's good, we'll see. Again, better than nothing. Talking Ryan Williams, only 2 months left until his debut. Really very good to see how good his position himself and his leadership skills for team and team gains confidence and presence. Yeah, let's see, Sean Lata. U17 women team playing U19 South. Yeah, Tom, I think it's the right decision. It's a good decision by the AIFF because, in my opinion, it gives um, you know uh, gives them good exposure, and that's to me the most important thing. And again, you're not going to easily get exposure left, right, and center. The important thing to get that exposure, and these girls are getting exposure. Have to face older girls from the South Asian region. I think especially Bangladesh is going to be another test, good test. Don't know what the quality is of the rest, but again, it's good, good. ISL X page finally active with post yesterday. Zoravar X page, Instagram, both of them are active again. Did a post yesterday and did a post today. Yeah, I searched about club fixtures at the time, but there was no updates and or schedules for Allianz Salima. We have to wait little to see whether she gets game time. Again, if I understand it right, the league in Peru only starts in late March, which means Manisha could be training with them, joining the Indian team at some stage in Feb, and getting ready for the uh, AFC Women's Asian Cup to play. Now that did ISFC complex and started and made progress in construction was just public stint. Kumar, knowing Mr. Royte doesn't do public stints. So, and I don't know the status. So I've just read out what he has said, and I don't know anything more or less about it. Sorry. That's what I know at the moment. Compared to Indian players playing abroad, will Gurpreet's stint will be greatest club game time exposure comparing both men and women? Most probably yes. If I'm comparing all, yeah. Maybe if COVID hadn't hit, maybe Bala's would be more higher ranked. But yeah, Kafa was fun, although I respect under strict opinion. But if Kafa would become strict, like if the fun will die. I don't know. Hey, Rushabh, welcome back. Sporting has 5 wins, lost only to Bayern and Napoli. Win against PSG, draw against Juve. Great job. Yeah. If you're able to get into the top 8 in Europe, you're not going to get in by fluke. There has to be some quality in there. Otherwise, you don't make it into that bracket. Um, so, yeah, let's wait and see. When tomorrow the draw is done for the playoff playoffs. Sorry. Sir, Ventakasha, I mean, clubs have gone for young foreigners. Do you think that should be a way forward? Who came early? Same for TD, young foreigners around 24, 27. Opening, the question is not young or old. The question is about quality, right? For example, my example is Marlon Rose Trujillo, right? Signed by Kerala Blasters. You know, and to me, mm, a top player 5, 6 years ago in the German youth system, right? Why he couldn't make it, why he didn't make it, were there injuries, were there other things? I don't know enough, right? But if he's coming at 22, 23 to India, that's great news for us theoretically. But again, he has to adopt, he has to play, and yes, again, and we don't know, right? We've had big names who failed in Indian. So therefore, is it good? Is it bad? Again, to me, age is not a factor. If a player is good, he can be 19 or 20 or could be 35. If he delivers, I'm fine with it. So therefore, that is again, this is a theoretical question. And at the moment, why are they signing younger players or whatever? They're not signing younger or older players. They're signing players who are cheaper on the market. Let's be honest about it. You have sold your costly foreigners who are coming from Spain or from other parts of Europe or North Africa, and now you're going for the cheaper ones. Why is the concept of salary cap exists? Tushar, it's an American model. It's an American model to even out the costs of clubs in regard to spending on players. It works perfectly in American model. Look at the NBA, look at the NFL, NHL, MLB, or look at even Major League Soccer. So it works in American concept. We don't have it in Europe in football. It was there at the start of the ISL, which was good to have on one side, but on the other side, in India, with this whole jugaad business, you want to work around it, and that is what a lot of clubs have done. So therefore, um, yeah, those are some of the realities which we have, and um, let's wait and see where it goes. So salary cap, I think, in some sort of form is needed to even out the league in some sort of form way. The question is, how can this be done in an Indian context where you're actually checking that there is no backdoor payment or backdoor deal, sponsorship, whatever. Let's see what happens. Bangladesh football team play friendly against Vietnam on 26th March before Singapore game. Okay, sure. Good for them. Good for them. So ISL is happening from 14. Do you see any hiccups? Zoravar, there are two big questions. One is broadcaster, right? Can we have a broadcaster next week? Right? That's my biggest of all queries, questions that I can have, right? The broadcaster is the starting and the ending of all conversations. And then my second question is the scheduling, right? Normally the broadcaster influences the scheduling. So that's a reality. But my bigger fear is you're announcing schedules now, and you're supposedly having state elections in Bengal, in Assam, in Tamil Nadu, and in Kerala. What effects would that have on the scheduling? Because interestingly, also what people have been telling me, saying, listen, even the IPL has not actually come out with some sort of schedule for the T20 competition, which is very interesting. So all of them are waiting, and if there's a complex issue, again, the IPL is very flexible. I don't know what the ISL would do, right? And forget the ISL. We have to also then talk about the I League, right? So therefore, scheduling is, hiccups are possible. And in the I League, I have a feeling that now suddenly the I League is becoming more tentative because um, our Churchill brothers are going to play. Yeah, they have not been part of meetings. What happens with Chanmari and with Aizawl FC? Chanmari seems to be saying, guys, we're not going to pay the 25 lakhs to participate. You didn't tell us before. And Aizawl is also sort of on the rebel path, what I feel from what Mr. Rohit said today. Questions after this haphazard league. What is the future of league football in India? Zoravar, what been saying for the last few weeks is we need a new AIFF and then a conversation of what is going to be the structure of Indian football, AIFF, and how we're taking the whole baby forward. If we don't sort that out, the rest of the conversations are not needed, right? For me, that is the most important thing. We need to look at try sort out the basics, in my opinion. And if we don't sort them out, I think it becomes very difficult. Um, yeah, let's wait and see what happens. ISL at first had drafts. Yeah, Zoravar had two drafts. It had one draft in the first season, and then when Jamshedpur FC and Bangalore FC joined it, it on one side was fun, you know, uh, uh, um, you know, So to me, interesting exercise, strenuous exercise that 1 week before the draft. But I think it was worth the effort, and but yeah, now with long-term contracts in place, it makes it very difficult. So I don't know if it can and will work in an Indian context. I find it very difficult. When comparing to the American model of salary cap, leave MLS aside, NFL gives shares of league profits to the players. That's how if the cap survives. Rusha, but the problem is again, where are the profits of the league, right? You're sharing league profits here and there. Think about MLS. Forget NFL. Every club in the MLS got involved to pay their share, to get Lionel Messi to Inter Miami, which meant that the broadcasting rights were sold at a higher price. And by selling that broadcasting rights at a higher price, everybody is getting something out of it in return, you know. And the other model, and I had this idea again. Finally, I had this idea because when I tried at Mumbai City in 2014, trying to sign David Beckham to try and bring David Beckham to the Indian Super League, maybe that would have been an interesting model to say, you know what, the whole league ensures that we get David to play for us because it increases the value exponentially of the Indian Super League. I think it could have worked. But again, it didn't happen for different reasons. So, yeah, sadly. If we want to strictly implement the cap, we probably have to engage with players' union and track their transaction, which is highly unrealistic. Players could even do transaction through relatives. Rushabh, it's Indian context not going to happen. That I'm saying a salary cap in an Indian context will not happen. We look at the situation about supposedly deals between Anwar Ali, Mohun Bagan, Ranjit, and all that stuff, and now with East Bengal and all that stuff. We don't know how these contracts work. And again, that's the most famous example of it. So therefore, we are in that situation. Let's see. My Mohun Bagan fans on YouTube commenting Amader Club, Mission Kesain Koruk, Bryson Kesain Koruk, Bryson Ke Chai to Chai, not going to my club. You know, I'm a Mohun Bagan fan. Yeah. So Mohun Bagan fans on YouTube are saying that they want Bryson and they need to sign him for anything and everything. I don't know why, suddenly Bryson comes into the picture for Mohun Bagan Supergiant. Um, you know, the funny one is, um, I don't know. It's Mohun Bagan has actually been very quiet, right? I thought Lobera would make 2-3 changes to the squad, right? Foreigners and Indian. Um, Surprised that Hugo Bumus actually went to Selangor. Um, yeah, very surprising. And to answer your questions, Ravar, no, as far as I know, Mohun Bagan, Super Giant have not made any signing at all. Um, Not that I know of any. I don't know. You tell me, guys, if you've heard anything. I don't know about any Mohun Bagan signing in the last few days and weeks in the Indian Super League. So, um, yeah. Do you think drafts should be brought back to counter these overpaid salaries? No. However, the problem of the draft is if, let's say, a player X is worth, according to the draft, 20 lakhs. See, our talent pool is limited, right? So we will, at the start of the draft, we'll fight over the same players, right? If we've got a salary cap, I will, if I look back at 2014 when we sat on the draft, I got my first five players that I wanted to sign, right? I said I want a good goalkeeper, I want a playmaker or a potential winger, an Indian, um, a wing back, and someone with a Mumbai background. Right, those were four or five targets that I had. I had Subhrotapal, I had Nobi on my list, Lalindika Ralte, Raju Gaikwad as a defender and as a Mumbai boy, and someone else who I forgot at this moment. Yeah, and so to me, yeah, that worked at the time. But if I look at now the pool is smaller today than it was in 2014. So they would fight if a Bryson is on the table and you say, okay, Bryson, base price 20 lakhs. Bryson's price will go on two and a half, three, four, maybe 5 crores. You know, but I don't think the draft will work in this current system. Correct me if I'm wrong. New I League seems more autonomous than ISL with clubs having more power. Meanwhile, only in ISL they want full control, total control. Rushabh, I said yesterday, to me, the ISL is like an unwanted baby to the AIFF, but somehow the AIFF wants to control that unwanted baby. And the I League is something that they say, listen, you guys organize, you run it. If you look at it last season, the I League clubs, actually, the guys at Interkashi were enabled Sony to come on board as a broadcaster, right? So therefore, um, for me, yeah, I, um, I'm not sure because there seems to be also something brewing in the I League with Mr. Royte saying what he said today. Chanmari not agreeing to it. Churchill Brothers is not there. I think life in the 14 ISL clubs are more together at the moment than 11 I League teams. And then we still don't know what Ranjit is trying to do, right? Will he take the AFF to court? I mean, the biggest danger to the to the I League is theoretically that he might go to court and say stop the league, which I think could be possible. You know, let's wait and see. Right, more than an hour. Once more reminder, like, share, and subscribe Arun Foot here on YouTube. Um, yeah, do share with other people. As I always say, 21 likes so far. Thanks a lot for that already. And of course, if you haven't, if you're watching, you're liking, you're listening, you like what we're talking about, do subscribe to the channel. We stand at 3,725 at this moment. Thank you very much. Please help me to grow the channel. And as I said, tomorrow, my interview on Chuck the Football on a lot of interesting things. Yeah, watch that whenever it comes out. Why need Bryson? They have Suhail. Zoravar, because Bryson is a more complete player than Suhail. But at the moment, I would say. And Bryson is not an out and out striker. Bryson is more of a winger. I think Bryson is, yeah. So therefore, for me, as Mohun Bagan, I don't think it is the worst idea to try and consider to sign Bryson. But again, right? The last rumor I heard was they were trying to sign a Japanese midfielder who's experienced ACL. That's it. Zurava, but that was weeks ago, right? That I think that was even last year, right? Or early this year. So therefore, for me, I haven't heard anything. And yeah, let's see. Everyone in Mohun congratulating our boss, where some fans are criticizing Jason for saying just Sanjeev. Okay. Yeah. He's an Aussie, right? You say that first. I found it very interesting the other day when they were talking. I was watching. What was I watching? I was watching Deutsche Welle, my former channel broadcaster who used to work for, and they were um, Ursula von der Leyen was being called Ursula, the EU Commission president, and Mr. Modi. They were saying to Narendra Modi. So that was very interesting to see the differentiation. So therefore, yeah. Sir is now getting rattled from every Moma fan after RFDL Derby, says Raj. Yeah. I read a rumor today about Mohammad Subajan eyeing Koru Singh. Wouldn't be surprised. Uh, uh, you know, uh, uh, you know, And yeah, but let's wait and see. I don't see any. Again, I think some of these players, you know, so therefore for me, let's see. Some of these players in the summer might be. Let's see what happens. Please ask the Chakwe football guy not to give too much footage to all those clowns out there. Rushabh actually said that's why. That's the reason I've given him the interview. Right? We had a long conversation about it. He's. I hope he's understood it. He seems to have, and I think just watched the interview. I think he asked some very very valid question. I have to sort of try to explain certain things, defend certain things, because there are certain opinions that have been out there which have been sort of, I think, manifested in a lot of heads, that they think, these are the realities, and things are, this way, and which in my opinion they aren't. And I need to, sometimes I'm doing an educational program trying to explain to people, how things could be, should be, need to be. And yeah, if that's my role, I try and do that as well. दादा पहले आप फर्स्ट एनालिसिस करिए, उसके बाद वीडियो बनाइए, क्यों कि मेरे को इतना पता नहीं है। अगर आप एनालिसिस करके वीडियो बनाते हैं तो उनका लाइफ भी बन सकता है। ओके कैलाश, आई एम नॉट गेटिंग योर पॉइंट। व्हाई, व्हाट एनालिसिस? What analysis? I'm not getting it. मैं सिर्फ ट्रांसफर मार्केट सारे कहाँ कहाँ खेलते उसकी अंदर में लिस्ट बनाया है। Kailash, thanks. So you've created a list, you've looked at the players and whatever, but are you looking at the leagues? Which leagues are they playing and all? Right. And to explain to you, um, old story, most of you will have known this. I was the first person to talk about players of Indian origin with the AIFF 25 years ago. So I speak to them on a regular basis. And the ones that that are really of interest are on those lists, right? And therefore, yeah, let's see where they are. I feel matches should be played on weekends, not every day. Avi, I don't agree to that. I tell you why. Um, we have certain realities in India, and we have certain realities of people watching or not watching. It interesting is to me is that if you look at the ISL in the last few years, because people always tell me, "Oh, you're not on weekends. There will be more people coming to the grounds." You know, um, the reality of things is hasn't been proven that more people turn up on a Saturday than on a Wednesday or a Thursday or a Tuesday, and therefore, and what the ISL has done well, you know, um, you know, um, the ISL is trying to not play matches in parallel, right? So let's wait and see. So therefore, I'm not a fan of that. Wait, you took part in Candid Football Podcast, a place where Bajaj and Casey actually do. Yeah, I did, Suravan, but it was a one-on-one, right? And as I said, we had a long conversation about it. I have not gone on that platform, but some of you have told me I need to go out and speak to people. And I thank Sportfolio, I thank Drogbaba for giving me a platform. Um, yeah, and Sagil of Chakde also. And again, I explained him a few things. Original idea, and I said, yeah, if one on one we can do, and then we did it. I think it was a good one. He's been very happy. See the two Insta clips which are already out, where I think I'm very very clear on those things, and yeah, and um, I think I've been able to uh, to speak about certain myths that are there, which I don't agree to, and yeah, and it's it is going to get a certain level of reach, I guess, and that's good, right? That's good. How are the coaching sessions at RSL clubs? Are they the standard of German clubs? Mine post a lot of 2 vs 2, 4 vs 4 small-sided games on YouTube. Very fun to watch. Why doesn't RSL clubs post those? Tushar, again, I can't speak for all clubs of what they do, what they don't do. A lot of the drills will be the same or should be the same. Some will be different. Um, Again, and whenever you know, why they don't post it, maybe not the social media resources or whatever. I honestly don't know why. So honestly, I'm tired of telling truth to people about these so-called messiah. An interesting part of all these fanboys don't want to accept that realities despite knowing things. Raj, but that's in this alternative realities we live, and this is a fight which we'll have to continue. Yeah. You know, don't stop. Continue. If you find the pronunciation of Indians for Germans very funny, you should watch DD Sports interview with Didi Beiersdorfer. Oh, Roshan, yeah, I get where you're coming from. Does Ajay Lopez Tavares has any connection with India because Indian football YouTubers are hyping him because of his Anglo-Indian dad? Does he have? He did have, right? But um, what was the connect? Where was the connection? It was Goa, right? Um, it was Goa, right? Mm, 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 mm. But he was, yeah, because of his Barca connection, right? Yeah. Uh, Not sure if he actually is Indian. Maybe a realistic model would have been let ISL I-League clubs manage the league entirely, collect a fee from each club. Rushabh, the clubs are not in a position to do it. If that's my learning of the last 3, 4, 5 months. If you look at the structure we have at the moment, if you look at what we have, what we don't have, then you would have to accept that the clubs are not really, and uh, for me, um, looking also the I League, right? The I League yesterday at the press conference presented something, and a former I League club champion um, says, didn't attend the meeting first of all that, and secondly is like, you know what, I don't believe your scheduling and all. And then you again, and the point is, if we are taking money from clubs to play in that system, you know, uh, you know, um, so therefore for me, I don't know if the clubs are really in that position. We need a commercial partner to run the thing. If people like it or not, someone like a Reliance who's willing, capable, able to lose thousands of crores over a certain period of time because we're not going to make money. So this is also a learning, right? Because these clubs can do certain things to themselves, but not more. How much other football guy invited you surprising? Raj, he's been in touch on and off. He's invited me a lot of discussions, and the other day we got talking, and I clearly said I'm not interested in talking to certain people who he wanted to invite. And then he said, okay, we'll do a one-on-one, and that's why I did it. Right. As some of you said, I need to put myself out there if I like it or not. And then I told, certain things from my perspective. जो मैं लिस्ट बन हाँ, वो उसमें नहीं है ओरिजिनल प्लेयर तो जो इंडियन है उनका बोल रहा हूँ अरे कैलाश you are creating a list of Indian players. Do they have the level to play national team? It is nice. It is great work that you've done. That list exists. Again, it is sorry to maybe demotivate you, but that list exists, and there is no one on that list except one or two, right? Kabir Nath is on that list, for example, in Andorra, but otherwise there are not too many players who actually factually qualify to be playing good enough to be playing for the national team. Right? That's the other problem. One of the you need to counter Ranji Bajaj manipulative narratives. KC regime is doing drama that all Supreme Court said you should abide blindly Constitution. Let's shout it on Ali CEO, ISL CEO. When he asked about relegation exemption, he said we should follow Supreme Court order. Kumar, whenever I can, I say what is right and what is wrong. No, what I always say that, right? And I don't. again, I do not have the reach to be able to say, this, that, and everything. Right. So it's not just me, it is on all of us to say what is right and what is wrong. And what Kalyan said or what didn't Kalyan say, again, you're quoting someone who said, supposedly he said it. Did he say it? Didn't he say it? Again, that's the other thing. You guys pick up statements and comments which supposedly were made and then try and create a picture. Is it right or is it wrong? Yeah, let's see. A highly promising player in Croatia named Rahul Kumar. Is he Indian? So I have no idea. What about under 17s? You talked about them earlier because I joined late, but the team in qualifiers looked mint. That one defender I liked was lurking those passes to a left wing, his ball playing. Yeah, Punya. That no, you look good. And I think the biggest talent was Gante. Look, stop. I think the biggest talent is that. What if next regime asked him to amend the organization rights would come back? Rushabh, the next regime doesn't need to go to the Supreme Court. The AFF, uh, uh, um, you know, the AFF has the right to change its constitution on its own. It does not need the Supreme Court of India to do that, right? So that is one thing that I've said again and again. So therefore some of these realities are very, very harsh, very, very brutal, but they need to take it. And would Reliance come back? Reliance have dissolved, FSDL de facto. So let's see. Maybe the Portuguese president can run for next AIFF presidency. You mean the Portuguese EU president? Yeah, Parliament, European Parliament president. Yeah, maybe Roshan. Yeah, yeah, bringing out his OCI card, right? I would be absolute simmer if you took on Bajaj and chucked their football. So, but it makes no sense. I've tried to explain to him on a one-on-one in front of the COA, in front of other people in 2017, 18, in front of conferences, and he didn't understand. Right? There are other people who joined at the time in the conversation, and a lot of people have given up on that. So, you guys don't have money to organize league, but are ready for relegation and drama, which is coming, will be insane. Raj, it is. I still don't know, and that is the point. Why the clubs did not speak up in front of the sports minister? You know, um, because that was the opportunity to get things clarified. Because if you see even that press interaction of the minister making that announcement with Kalyan Chaubey whispering in his ear, um, you know, um, that they didn't tell the minister, um, you know, they missed the bus. They missed that chance. And now that's why we are in the mess we are in today. We could be somewhere else. We should be somewhere else, but we're discussing the same thing that we would be discussing yesterday. But we are in a much worse place. And that's the sad part of the reality of where we are stuck at this moment in time with Indian football, right? And I don't know if we're gonna get out of it or not. Have they made any changes to this U17 batch, or is it the same batch which played the qualifiers? Rushabh, there were some small little changes. I don't know what the reasons are, but some small little changes have been made. And again, there are two additional spots in this squad. And yeah, so that has been made. What about Andre Lakshmikant? He's starting for a club for Portugal League when he scored against Braga in December, starting 13 out of 15 matches he played. Yeah, but Mehul, he doesn't have any passport, right? So how, again, it is it's not worth the conversation. He's on. These guys would be on a list. The day you allow OCIs to play for India is done. But these guys, he doesn't have an Indian passport. Oh, now that Kalyan Chaubey has the power, change the constitution clause of ISL owning operating owners and relegation clauses, but he's doing all drama that we cannot change. Yeah, Kumar, you're not saying anything new. I've said this multiple times, right? So yeah. So reality. He doesn't want to change things. Blame and deflection and others at fault, that has been the job of Kalyan Chaubey, of Satya, and all the other people involved at the moment, sadly. Dada, why are people hyping up the 9-year-old Indian origin Everton wonder kid? There's not surety that he will even make it into the bench of a Red side in future. We like to hype up everything. First of all, Renal, he's not a wonder kid, right? There are a lot of 9-year-olds who sign contracts with big teams first, and he's being hyped up because the Premier League did it. Premier League India did it. So yeah, that's the problem. How's your conversation with Scooter been, Rushabh? Um, Conversations with him are not bad. The problem is when you come to speak about the substance, because he has a, I would say, a worldview on things which doesn't align with mine. Because if you speak to such people, a lot of these people exist in Indian football where you realize, oh, you know what, they've seen a video on something, oh, they've read something, and they believe all of that is true and factually true, right? Why is Minerva going to play in the MIG Cup? Because he's read something or seen something, some video. Oh, you know what? In Spain, ये tournament हो रहा है. चलो इधर खेलते हैं. That's right. There is no science behind that. That, and I told him once, many years back, to play these tournaments makes no sense. Rather, you come tell me, come to Germany for 2, 3 weeks, train here, play against the academies of the Bundesliga clubs, play 90-minute matches. Let's see what you can do. These tournaments of playing seven aside, nine aside, small matches, you know, you know. Uh, so therefore, these are realities. When I was sitting in front of the COA, he was whispering into their ears not to believe what I was saying because it was his agenda to get Reliance out. That was his whole agenda, to get Praful Patel out and to get Reliance out for whatever reason, right? And sorry, Ranjit, you've not taken us forward. You've harmed us. And this is one thing you need to accept, right? And the conversation, listen, when India won the SAF championship, he, he hugged me like anything when we beat Kuwait and won the trophy, right? So I know, Arunava Chaudhuri, I myself know what I've done for Indian football, what I've tried to do for Indian football, and to stand for what is right and what is wrong. But I also know that a lot of people, you know, don't do that. Even friends of mine. And I understand a lot of people have to live, work, and operate in the system. 70-80% of people know what is right and what is wrong. But and this is problem of Indian society. You don't speak up. That is what happened in front of the minister. Why did they not speak up? The CEOs, they said, no, minister hai, uske liye. Right? So that is the problem. That's why I need your help, everybody, to grow this community here on Arunfoot, where we speak truth, where we discuss the real things, the issues, the problems, the mistakes. How many people will tell you, right, that they have themselves made mistakes? I say that I've done mistakes. Listen, not everything that I've done is right. A lot of things I would do differently, right? But hey, let's see. Now some will say sports minister pressured clubs, so clubs did not have guts to speak. Yeah, but Raj, see, the point, this is exactly the point. There is this perception. The problem in all of this is perception, in my opinion, right? If you ask me, um, did the sports minister pressure them, right? No, the sports minister did not pressure them, but is perceived to be. It is the same thing within the AIFF Exco, or when with the special body meeting, where I think, oh, in the past, be it President Smurshi, Praful Patel, or even now, Kalyan Chaube, strong, right? Praful was strong. Priyada was strong. Listen, if one person in the AIFF stood up and said, listen, Kalyan, I am challenging you, others would follow and try and change things. This has not happened. You know. So that's the problem. That is, we have a thing, and people don't have a tendency to stand up what is right or wrong. I mean, if I go back to a 2014 meeting in front of Mrs. Ambani talking about the Indian Super League and what is right and what is wrong, how can it be that I was the only one who said, sorry guys, we're doing too much of market, a focus on market is good, but we need to ensure a talent-based development, right? I remember she nodded and said, yes, yes, very, very important point raised by you. Did they follow it up? Did they do it? No. That is the problem. In an forget football, but in an Indian ecosystem, that is the problem. That when you are critical, when you raise problems, when you raise issues, you are perceived to be a troublemaker or someone who's arrogant, this, that, everything. I know that people call me names. Listen, my what has been my biggest mistake? I should have started this platform talking to you as fans, everybody, you know, much, much earlier. But hey, those are the realities of where things at this moment in time stand in Indian football. What caught my eye, FC Schlieren, who played Indian women's national team, got a player in the winter from England named Anuja Sedman, considering the Indian name, but couldn't find any info. Okay, Roshan, there are so many players, especially in the women's game in the UK, with Indian origin or South Asian origin. So how far are we from Osa appears realistically? Mehul, at the moment, we are nowhere. We are as close as we were yesterday or day before because there's no movement on that. You know, there was a hype at a certain period a few months ago when we were talking about the sports, a national sports governance bill and then act interaction with the diaspora. It is so vague, nothing. So therefore, nothing has happened, nothing has changed. Now, Scooter is so manipulative. I felt firm, but later I realized, yeah, Kumar, and that's good that you did realize it, and then you have come, from the evil side to the right side, to use sort of say a Star Wars analogy. Even Jan played for biggies like Liverpool Academy. Even him couldn't crack championship. We have to wait and watch what's going to happen to the Devon Kid. Renil, please don't call him Wonder Kid. He is talented, yes, but there are tons, right? So therefore, don't call him Wonder Kid. That's the first mistake you're making, and again, right? Avika Singh is playing in Denmark, Manisha Kalyan in Peru, and Kajal D'Souza in Saudi Arabia. How much their addition will help Indian women's team? A lot, Hitesh, because all of them add quality, right? All of them add quality. Sadly, your contribution remains true to only you only, sir, not the rest, unfortunately. Yeah, Simon, again, that has also been a mistake that I've done over the last 28 years, where I always said, when you do good work, when you're knowledgeable, um, that's a very German thing, I guess. People will come to you. They want to learn, they want to understand. Right. So yeah. So um, let's that is a problem that we are, and so reality is, and yeah, as I say, I've done address things, um, so therefore for me, it's my mistake at the end of the day, right? I um most probably would, in today's world, I would have to say, you know what, I undersold myself. Right. Yeah. Rather, where you rank Malo ISL talents is Abdul Rabe looks like a serious talent to you or Nihal Suresh? No. Well, we've had better. We spoke about CK Vineeth, I think, yesterday or day before. Even Rahul KP was better than these guys. Sahal Abdul Samad is better than these guys. These guys, they can step up, right? Both of them. But both of them, again, how long, will they be in the talent category? How old are they? What is the let me see. How old is Abdul Rabe? 23, 24, 25, right? 25, you can't be a talent, right? And Nihal Sudesh, how old is he? 24, right? Those guys are too old to be called talent. They need to step up. And news regarding OTT for ISL, Zoravar, it's linked to the broadcast. The broadcast OTT is the same thing. Want to change another ministry does not have sports knowledge, unlike Ashwini Vaishnav and Nirmala Sitharaman are field experts in their ministry. One is IT and commerce related. Kumar, but it doesn't mean that they're good, right? So therefore, Even if you so-called knowledge doesn't help, ask Nirmal Sitaraman's husband, he'll tell you how good his wife supposedly is. That is the first time since 2014 where clubs had a word between ISL clubs and AFF. Yeah, they've never had a word. The ISL clubs always went through FSDL, right? Yeah, right. Everton wonder kid. I'm talking about Urban Negi. Yes, we're talking about him, but again, I don't call him um, a wonder kid. Let him grow. If he achieves it, all of us will be happy to have someone of Indian origin reaching that standard. How to rate three women coaches from Italy, Sweden, and Costa Rica? See, from Sweden, Joachim Alexandersson has already proven he's qualified the under 20s, he's qualified the under 17s for the Asian Cup. So therefore, that is done. Um, right. And Amelia Valverde, um, I watched her interview with Rev Sports. Sounded good. Will be interesting to see what she can do. But again, she has to prove herself, I guess. And that I think is always the question. But again, that'll be interesting to see. And Pamela Conti, again, I mean, the experience on paper looks good. Do they have enough time? That's the whole question. So, Hitesh, I would say in the women's game, this has been the strongest, at least on paper, name wise, the best set of coaches that we've had in the women's game for our national team setup ever. Right. And there is an agent in the background to thank for that. Say would have AFF is making great move, you would have got more numbers on channels speaking truth is restricting you. Yeah. Yeah. Raj, these are realities. I'm fine. I have done my things. I've tried my things. I will try my things, but I'm not dependent on Indian football, right? Rahul Kepi was elite player. Dada, even CK was better output and star than these players, but people in Kerala hype up every. Yeah, Renal, because we are in these days of hyping up now. Sal is washed up to be. He never was able to bring consistency into his game. Yeah, but Simon, talent, Sal Abdul Samad is of all the players that we've spoken about from Kerala, he is the most talented of the lot. Period. Right? You guys are trying to stress the hell out of the old man by using the word wonder kid all the time. Yeah, Rishabh, they don't understand that a 9-year-old signing for Everton is not a wonder kid, right? It is like, what was that kid's name? That 8-year-old who went to the Tony Kroos football school in Madrid because he saw a video. 8-year-old kids are not wonder kids, right? Dada, what's a player for you? Vision was special force of nature, a phenomenon. He is my Pele. Do you see any Kerala players even half the level of a Siki beneath? Players I rate. The one I rate, uh, who's not attacking really. Um, Joe Polancheri. Joe, as a midfielder, if on his good great days, the control he had of that midfield. Wow. I'm Vision again. We've spoken about him. Technically, I've never seen a better Indian footballer in my life. But Joe Cherry is the other one that we don't speak about because we don't speak about midfielders, right? It is, um, you know, you know. Ashish got asked this question about clubs signing foreigners for some over-the-top wages yet shunting salaries of the Indians. Simon, that question is of course going to come up, but I don't think. My point is that a lot of these foreigners who are signing at the moment are signing at much less money than they have in the last few years. Some of them also don't have a money market elsewhere, no? Because you've played too long in India. So that's also a reality. If you put an Indian flag behind yourself, you would get more views. I don't know, Roshan. Maybe it would, but I don't think so. This was during today's live edit. Okay. Urban Negi a month back said he wants to represent India at international level. So have a night again, it's all PR. At the end of the day, it's PR. Shanunda wants to play for India. He's a good striker. Hitesh, I know. I introduced him to India. I very well know. We spoke about it with the AIFF. There's nothing happening. Another, do you think how many asset clubs will shut down after the season commitment? Kumar, it depends on what happens in the summer. In the worst case, you got five, six, seven, maybe. The danger is there. It might be that all could be saying, thank you very much, Tata, bye bye. Listen, we have not only the ISL, we also have the I League. Think about it. The Chanmari at the moment is saying we don't want to play. Isol FC seems to have the position. Churchill Brothers is in that position. I want to see if all the eight other teams can pay the 25 lakhs to participate or not. Right? That's the reality. In India, people don't really understand how competitive football is compared to cricket. Yeah, at international level, surely. But now the wonder kid means 16 or 17 kid like Leonard Cullen Bayern. No, Kumar, it doesn't have to be. It could be a younger boy as well, but it could be also a wonder kid, could be also in his early 20s. But again, but not a 9-year old. And he has only been highlighted because he's of Indian origin. How many 9-year olds have Everton signed over the last year? What, 20, 25 kids, most probably? No hype, only hope. No hope, only hype. This is what we do all day long. Simon, sadly, yes. Right? To me, that is what I've been fighting against. Um, and I will fight against that. I will fight for what is right and fight against what is wrong. And yeah, it's I honestly don't know what to say, what to do. So yeah, Joe Paul was a great player. My mom used to say she used to watch games of these Trishur Gaddies when she was in college. Joe Paul, Amvijan, Sharif Ali, Chakko, etc. Golden days. Daniel, they had great players. Um, Kerala Police, and again Joe Paul, good dear old friend. Um, yeah, let's see. We will have a new look BFC Mohun Bagan post summer. Add East Bengal to the list in terms of management. Are you sure? Mohun Bagan depends on the results, right? If Lobera sticks or not. East Bengal, the same for Oscar. Same, same as BFC. I wish and I hope, I wish my brother Renedy all the best. I want Renedy to succeed at BFC. Again, he needs to succeed because I rate him the most amongst the young coaches because Renedy is something, so therefore, I wish, but we'll have to wait and see, right? Is Indian then how he would represent India then? Kumar, there have been talks about OCI topics. Again, even I was talking to the AIFF about this a while back. We're looking at on this. So therefore, until unless you know, there are means and ways. And I've suggested again also to the ministry how to work around it. But again, yeah, yeah, the government knows better. Many countries don't have dual citizenship, but India can use Indonesia example citizen card. Hitesh, there are multiple ways of doing it. That's relatively easy, but the government doesn't want to do it, period. Right? And it is not a BJP thing. It was the Congress before that. They could have all done it. Again, Mr. Dasmunshi tried. Prabhu Patel tried. And again, both of them were senior level ministers in their respective governments in the Congress. Others after that in the BJP also tried. Nothing happening. Right? So this is the reality of India. That people don't realize how much of work the owners are taking now. They could easily shut shop by now, even after this mess. They stayed atop. They should approach them with full heart. Then rather than the owners, who I would give credit to? The guys who are managing the clubs. To me, the guys the CEOs who are in the most difficult space. And because those guys are trying to keep the clubs afloat, ensure that the payments are made, deal with the AFF, and organize the rest and keep a team working. So I have a lot of respect to all the CEOs and MDs of these clubs who are keeping their systems alive, right? And that is a very tough one. Was CK Vinny that good now in his younger days? Yes. he was a sensational, you know. Um, so therefore, is the pace, the vision. Yeah, CK Vineet had also technical abilities, different kind, different class of player. I always liked the player, always liked the style of CK Vineet also. Right? He was a stylish footballer. How do clubs have access to past matches of opponents? Is there a component as all matches from past? Is it possible for a single person to have access to all these, or are these very costly? Tushar, there are not all matches from the past. There are platforms over the last few years which have come up, where you can, which are scouting platforms where you have matches. But if you want to watch a match from 10 years ago, I don't know if you're going to be able to watch a match from 10 years ago. And there is no one who has access to all these. Again, FIFA, for example, has an access to all, not all, but to most World Cup matches. But again, there is nothing, you know, so therefore, yeah, that is something which is possible. Right, 1 hour 41 minutes. Quick reminder: like, share, and subscribe. Arun Foot here on YouTube. Visit my other social medias, be it on X or Insta. 26 likes today. Thank you very, very much. And share it with other people to join. And we stand at 3,727 subscriptions here. Thank you very much to those of you who've joined new and join our conversations. And as I said, tomorrow my interview on Chuck the Football is coming out, and um, yeah, and I have the first couple of clips have gone online on my Insta in regard to what I said, and I see it's gotten quite a bit of reach on Insta as well. So thank you for those as well. So yeah, do support me and keep on growing. Yes, the CEOs are working hard. A big try to tell things to people, but here we think things with heart rather than brain. Ravi, Abik, and others are pushing hard to keep system. Yeah, Ravi, Abik, Gandhar in Mumbai, Darren in Bangalore, Dhruv in Delhi, all these guys, Mandar in Northeast, and whoever is, all of them are. Yeah, it's not easy. India has more chances to get competitive in women's football more than men's. Take the example of China, men's and women's football team. Hitesh, I would say yes and no. If we're talking in the year 2025, I think that in Asia, women's football is getting more and more competitive. And your danger is in the next 5 years, I think in the Middle East, football will become more competitive in the women's game. When the Saudis, the Emiratis, the Qataris really get competitive in the women's game, especially the Saudis are pushing for it. So therefore, either we get on the bus before they join the party, otherwise it will become difficult. And China has been there for the last 30 years. We could have been in the late 90s, right? We lost 1-0 to Japan and therefore missed out on playing the 1999 FIFA Women's World Cup in the US. So therefore, we were much closer. Again, if you think today we're close, no, we were much closer. We have been very, very close. So, realities. Whenever I talk with my friends regarding Indian football, they laugh at me and tell me that cricket is superior sport to football in every aspect. This is the average mindset for an Indian for football. So, however, that's the problem, right? Yeah, but again, cricket is not a superior sport because sometimes say, is it really a sport? I make the counter fun of it. I and I've got some cricket friends of mine who say, oh, this and that and everything. Like, why bother? So defend football, speak positively about football. That's what I always say, because otherwise, if we don't defend football, who's going to defend football? Nobody is, right? That's the problem. No, sir, I was talking none of the investor administrative changes. Simon, what changes do you see at BFC? If JSW pull out, there is no BFC, right? Um, Administrative changes, again, if the investor is gone, I don't know. So to me, and East Bengal and Mohun Bagan, again, I'm positively surprised that Mr. Goenka as well as the Agarwals of Imami have said, you know what, we're going to spend the same money, right? They could have done differently. Now, I think Kerala focus on producing quantity talents rather than the quality, but lacks the special ones. Even the youngsters of Kerala C and other Malu talents look like something special missing in them. Anyway, yeah, sadly that is right. And I found it very interesting when we talk about Ayman and Azhar, just as an example, right? That these guys, yes, they have the talent, but are they showing it? Right? To me, Ayman and Azhar are a good example. Uh, Because to me, Ayman is the better one of the two, but that special thing is missing, right? Um, he comes across to me again. I don't know him. That's why also very difficult. But again, if I have to judge, comes across as very shy. So again, Rahul KP sometimes, right? Some people say, oh, it goes to a level of arrogance. But I like the boy because of that, because he shows that confidence, right? And he has that. What Rahul KP annoys me is the boy has a certain level of talent which is better than most others. Again, next, and if I would rate Malu talent in the last few years, the highest level is Sahal because he's a natural footballer. And then the second one is Rahul KP. Those two would be the highest, and then comes the rest of your, as mentioned, Nihal, Abdul Rabe, Ayman, Mohammed Sanan. There are tons of them. Right? You can go on and on. Respect to, yeah, huge respect to Ravi. Was India's victory against the UAE in 2001 a big victory? Renal, it is the biggest victory that I have seen in my years of following Indian football with my own eyes. Right? Um, right. So therefore, yeah, what Suki Paji and the team achieved on that 8th of April in Bangalore, exceptional, right? Exceptional. Naren Dash, what happened to him? Simon, again, age, playing here and there, um, and never living up to the potential, right? Manipur in women's football is a factory producing a lot of players. Hitesh, yes, but they're producing today less than they were producing 15, 20 years ago, right? Where are the Bala Devis and Bem Bems and whatever, right? Of that level, especially attacking players. Manipur used to produce some very good quality attacking players. They haven't, right, in the last few years. And Manipuris used to be like, if you were a national team of 20 players, 18 were Manipuris at some stage, right? Ashik, yeah, Simon Ashik comes also, but again, Sahal and Rahul KP would be above an Ashik in regard to talent. They also have this weird excuse that the reason cricket doesn't get the traction as football, as it's a predominantly white dominated sport, cricket being majorly Indian dominated both financially, and that it's a Western conspiracy to undermine India's achievements as Indians are brown skinned. No, cricket is actually, again, there are multiple sort of Commonwealth sports, right? You would say white man's, even football was a white man's sport in that way, right? Football was, actually, most sports are, right? But why then is rugby successful outside of the Commonwealth Games? I take France, I take Italy, I take Argentina, I take Tonga, I take, so again, this is the most stupid logic that there is. Cricket was dominated until about what, 15, 20 years ago by the Brits. It has never jumped over from the UK onto the European continent. So it's useless. Was I'm Vijay and Sunil and Baichu special compared to Indian standards? Yes. Yes. I know, I've said that multiple times. How important is work ethic for a footballer? That was Ronaldinho very lazy in his days? Ronaldinho, Neymar, with the talent that they've had, should have achieved more. Then they have achieved something, but they could have achieved more, right? Baichung, Sunil, hard work. In that way, I am Vision to me could have achieved more. Dada, I think people here like to cry. One of my close friends who was a decent footballer now working as a therapist, he one day told me, in India, all selections are on privileges. Like, Daniel, that's the problem, right? If I, again, in one of the videos that have come out on Insta, I've actually said, you know what? The problem isn't infrastructure, right? The problem is, um, are we doing the things that are needed to be successful? And our players are not doing enough, right? The second video, I asked the question: are young footballers challenging senior players? If I don't challenge Sandesh Jingan and take his place, right, I'm not achieving anything. Sandesh is a player of a quality. Yeah, I have to be better than him to be playing instead of Sanjay Gurga. So we'll have to wait and see. But to me, yeah, that's a problem. Do you rate Mohamed Sanan? In my opinion, is the most promising talent at the moment from Kerala. Zoravar, yeah, but he stagnated over the last 2 years. right? If you and that's the problem. They stagnate at some stage and then they stay at that level and then they suddenly drop after that. They don't, as a talent, even if you're a talent, you have to get better, 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 right? That's a good example to me is Changte. Changte burst onto the scene in 2015. He was 17, 18. He and Jerry M, right, who's at Odisha, those two came onto the scene jointly, known as Tom and Jerry. And Changte got his opportunities. We gave him a trial at Viking Stavanger. He seemed to stagnate at Chennai, then upped his level at Chennai, got the opportunity in Mumbai City. And at Mumbai City, he took it to the next level, right? At Mumbai City, he's captain now, even. But um, to me, um, if I see, and I saw Viking Stavanger a few weeks ago in December win the Norwegian League, right, ahead of a Bodo Glimt, and thinking, you know what, Changte could have been part of this team or maybe played for a bigger team, right? So I think, and that's the reality of our talent of where they could have gone. A kid who has political hold can easily get into a selection team, whereas an all-power kid doesn't have that privilege, but he doesn't realize that if you're that good of a talent, I think the system could make a pathway for you, but where is the special talent? Yeah, then that's what I say. If you are too good, nobody will be able to stop you, right? I hope the big guns of the ISL, Tatas, Goenkas, JSW stay on board. That's the only lifeline left at the moment. Simon, for example, with Tatas, I think a good sign is that Owen Coyle has come back. Right? To me, that's a big, big sign that uh, 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 um, you know. So for me, as I say, it's a good sign that the Tatas have actually spent money on players and the coach, because it looked to me a few months ago that he might be, uh, you know, might be looking to reduce his or reduce their costings. I actually would see another Mahindra in the making. Yeah, it could be. Nikhil Bala is a modern fullback. Yes, Simon he is. Again, but he could do more. You said Sal is a talent, but he's already 25 plus. So Raval, yeah, but that's the problem, right? Even I make that mistake sometimes. Sal Abdul Samad of his generation is the most talented footballer, in my opinion. Has he done enough? No, he hasn't. Yeah. So how did Manisha Karan has played in Europe Champions League, played for Park and now Apollon and now Allianz Salima. Hitesh, she's done good for herself. But yeah, she needs to, as we're talking in the men's game, they have to get better, 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 better. Is Imran Khan a late bloomer? No, I wouldn't say that. How do you rate Lithuanian national team striker Nauris Petkevicius, signed by Interkashi FC? How was playing style maybe? Um, See, for me, if I look at him, um, tried his luck in Europe. Went to Lille. So if you go to Lille and Lille has a very good academy, that means you're good. Couldn't make it. Went back to Lithuania. Tried his luck at Charleroi. Couldn't make it. And then has been, tried it in Lithuania. Came back. Tried his luck in the lower leagues in Belgium. Couldn't. Came back and has been, so to say, um, in the system. Interesting. Um, but I think we've had a few Lithuanian players and they've done well in our system. So I would say um, could be a good signing for Intakashi. Dada, do you think there are better talents than Nihal or Abdul Rabi in Kerala? Yes, I would think so. I would think that there should be better players coming through, be it through the Kerala, the Super League Kerala, or be it to the Kerala Premier League. But um, but those boys need to showcase themselves and challenge, right? And I don't see that. Rahul Beke is the late bloomer in Indian football, according to me, from abused left and right to become a critical player for national team. So now 100%. Um, and I always defended Rahul Beke because I remember during his East Bengal days, got a lot of hate. And I remember he also always had his mistakes also, right? I mean, that is also has to be honestly said that Rahul, in his younger days, especially when he joined East Bengal from Mumbai FC, um, but he seasoned at BFC. He got better at BFC, and then at Mumbai City became what he is now. So and he's continued at BFC, and the guy's 35, and we're still talking about, hey, he has to play for club and country. Tada, Julian Araujo is taking a break from football. Seems like he's focusing on getting his mental health proper. Do you think breaks like this important for footballers? Daniel, I don't know this specific case, but if a player has mental issues, yeah, he has to take it. Are the Blasters fans right to question the foreign signings? There's been a lot of mixed feelings in amongst their fan base. Simon, yes. But the point is, I, as a fan, if I like it or not, need to understand that the club is trying to reduce his wage bill. That's why you've let Noah Sadoy and Luna leave, right? So yeah, it's yeah. Imran Khan had the flair even back in his Northeast United series. Yeah, Imran Khan is another one of those, right? In his moments, even in Jamshedpur has had his moments, but consistency is a word which I like to use in the context of Indian players. Like, it's not FIFA game. Sal can become much more better if he puts his work. A lot of players who become explosive after 30 age, but it's up to players. Daniel, the problem is not that. The problem is with Sahal that Sahal never had a proper football education. He's a football school product, right? And so therefore there are certain basics. And I remember Elko Chaudhuri used to go crazy about that fact, right? So therefore that's the thing. Nerio's Val's case of 2019 was something else. Yeah. So we've had Lithuanian strikers in the league. So let's see if we can adjust. Is Alex Raji a future national team player in the making? Simon, Alex Raji could be a Sandesh Jingan replacement. Because to me, sometimes Alex Raji has these Sandesh Jingan vibes, um, but yeah, but he needs to step up because he still has too many of those small, dangerous mistakes in his game. We talked about Rahul Baker. Let's not forget Mehtab Singh, how much he got hit. Still, he's getting. Raj, and again, I want to go back to especially Des Buckingham, who made all these boys, Beke, Mehtab, Changte, Vikram, even Bipin, uh, um, Raulin Borges, all of these players much, much better. Apuya, not to forget. Right. So therefore, yeah, that's lucky. Renal answer is some people are okay with signings in maybe not high level, but considering the situation they're good, it's not now up to coach and players to show the results. Yeah, Renal. But I know that Blasters fans are not happy. Blasters fans are desperate, and Blasters fans are some of them I've seen saying, oh what, this was a chance to win a title. So that's the difficult part. Is Blasters fans even active nowadays? The X account is dead. What a downfall for KBFC fans. So now they're there. They live in their own world. Maybe not in the mainstream with us, but they're still there. And I think once the league starts, you will see lot more interaction from the Kerala Blasters and their fans. How do rate Indian players playing in foreign leagues like Avni Bharti, Som Kumar, and young players like Johan Benjamin, Nihar, Manirama, Ritan Jain, and Shagwin Venkatesh? Nitesh, that is the most difficult part because if I go through your own list, Som Kumar most probably is the biggest of them, but Som failed last season in the ISL with Kerala Blasters, and he's gone back in Slovenia, right? So therefore, for me, and the others, they all need to showcase themselves, right? Um, and most of these players have gone wherever they've gone into pay to play models, right? Forgot Mohammed Hassan Mehtab Singh. Yeah, Zorawar. Do you see Mehta playing for Mona Sujan? So, however, I see him potentially going back to his old right back position, right? I rate him higher than Ashish Rai and others. So it might be that he might play right back because Mohun Bagan, I see two centre backs, foreigners, and he's played in that position under Lubera in the past. The big question is, can we replace the generation of players with the new ones? Simon, that's the whole problem, right? A lot of people want younger players to come in without us knowing what the quality of the younger players is. That to me is our biggest problem, and but the problem is, yeah, are we going to get to that level that we think we want, we need, right? That's the whole question, right? Som Kumar, in my opinion, is the most promising. Hope he becomes the next Gopit Singh Sandhu for India. So, however, it will be interesting to see because when he joined the Blasters, had to play suddenly because even Sachin Suresh injuries and bad forms. Um, Som didn't play well, did some basic mistakes. Hope he gets those sorted, and then who knows? Hopefully, he can be better. But you know, we put too much of expectations into these players, and yeah, they can't fulfill it very often. That I was looking up and felt awkward that even with a lot of investments by Japan, they haven't had a world class player like a Salah or Sadio Mane. Is Asia really a two-tier below Africa? Boah, these generalizations are very difficult. If you ask me, you know, I don't know. Again, if you had a Nakamura, you have had a Shinji Kagawa, yeah. So let's see. I don't know. Are we a tier below? I don't know if we're really a tier below because again, would you call Egypt really a great footballing country? Yes, they have Salah, they have Omar Mamouche, but if you look at Japan, Japan has, I don't know, many more players. So therefore, this comparison is very difficult. This has to be one of those coaches who comes under the category of people having lasting impact in almost no time to stay. Yeah, very right, Simon. Will Ryan Williams inspire other overseas players? Hitesh, he has. Again, others want to play, but again, there are difficulties. No, even Gopin Singh Sandhu had a bad start in East Bengal. Still, no East Bengal fans threw water bottles at him when he was young. Yeah, so however, he lost East Bengal most probably two I-League titles. Right, I remember one match in Kalyani against United Sports where he let ball through, and yeah, I remember Trevor Morgan was very, very. Yeah, let's see. I think only Son and Jisung Park was the elite ones in the list. Even Kaga wasn't that great, so it's really difficult to become world class player in Europe for an Asian player. There, no, I rate Jisung Park. Yes, Son. Yes, Kagawa. People say because he didn't make it in England, but I thought Kagawa was good. Nakata, yeah, Hidetoshi Nakata, great player. And so therefore, Japan has had some good players. And again, Nakamura, for example, Celtic legend. I mean, great in Man United. He couldn't play like he does in his Dortmund days. Yeah, but again, Man United, with all his difficulties, look at some of the players who failed at Man United or coaches who failed in Man United in the last 15 years. So therefore, Man United is not my benchmark. He was amongst the Japanese, again, a player people will not know, but who's a big player in Germany would be Makoto Hasebe, who played up to the age of 40 in Eintracht Frankfurt. So therefore, there are players. So therefore, yeah, difficult. Yoshida and the AC Milan player. Yeah, again, Yoshida failed at Schalke, right? And so therefore, it is difficult. To me, these comparisons don't make sense because I'm trying to filter out here, filter out there, and try and do very difficult sometimes. But yeah, that's the reality of things. 2 hours and 4 minutes plus, meaning 124 minutes. So therefore, for me, what Honda? I mentioned Honda, no? Honda. Sorry, we didn't mention we had Nakata. Yeah, you see an Asian Ballon d'Or winner in the next 2 decades. Well, theoretically, yes. Says Chante from Liverpool Academy, no. He was with DSK Academy in Pune. They had a partnership with Liverpool. So he trained with Jerry M for a few weeks at Liverpool. No, he's a DSK Shivajan's product out of Pune. So, but spent time at the academy of Liverpool Football Club. Right. Yes, DSK Shivajans. Um, 2 hours and 5 minutes has slowly come to an end of this live on this Thursday, the 29th of January. We're moving closer to the end of the transfer window. So the next 2, 3 days, I think we'll have some interesting names to come out. Um, Seems like ISL I-League both are sorted from an AIFF perspective, which looks very tough, but we'll have to wait and see. Um, and then we'll have to wait and see what happens, right? So therefore, not clear, but a lot to go. And then let's see. And is still going strong. Yeah, he's playing somewhere, I think fourth division in Japan, right? 58 is his age. And yeah, Miura, incredible. And then I'll take your comment as last other RFYC putting a lot of effort into their academy, but we are not missing elite level players. Even the Sana and Nemel from RFYC looks a tier below Sahal and Ralkeeper. Yeah, that's Sana, Nemel, Franklin, Nazareth, all these boys have to step up, right? So let's see. Let's see. Thanks for that. Good night, Zanaba. Good night, Renal. Good night, Simon. Good night, everybody else. Again, a lovely discussion on Indian football. Um, I'll catch you tomorrow with another live and keep on supporting Arun Foot here on YouTube. Like, share, and subscribe. Watch my short videos. Follow me also on my other social medias on X, on Instagram. Visit arunfoot.com. And I'll be back tomorrow night with another live. Good night, everybody.